Alright, we're here for the next edition of the Baseball Club tonight. Just me and Joey tonight, and we started later than we expected because, my goodness, I came back home from concert, and then I rested for a while, and then I saw this game going back and forth, and the
I,
Red Sox beat the White Sox in
that's another sweep.
11 innings. Another sweep.
No, 13. 13.
13 innings, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, it was 12 to
13,
11 in
excuse me.
13 innings.
And 12 to 11, the final score. Is That was amazing that eight wins in a row for the second time this year that we've done that, basically. Ever since the beginning of the series against the Dodgers, when we swept them at their stadium. And now, what, they're at a 6-game losing streak, Joey?
The Dodgers have lost 6 in a row. They are sliding. This would
For
be their
now.
first long losing streak for the Dodgers since last July 4th to the 11th, when they
Hmm.
lost 7 in a row. That was their longest losing streak. So, just to be clear, the time to panic for them is not yet.
Oh, yeah. They have plenty of time. But you never know what could happen. Just saying. But that was one of the most wildest games this year I've seen the Red Sox play. And I really thought, on a Thursday night game, after winning 7 straight, they may not win. But Brian Beto basically saved the game in relief and got the win. And I think you can agree with me on that. I know Durbin had the walk off, but you know what I mean. There, Joey, if you agree with me on that about Beto. Not sure what's going on with oh, the camera.
There we go. But I
Okay.
couldn't agree with you more. But the crazy part of it is, Brian Bayo was sent down back in June. He has been almost untouchable since he's
Yes.
come back. He gave up 2 hits tonight. He gave up the go-ahead run, but he kept them in the game by giving up only that one run and couple hits, a handful of hits. He kept them in the ball game, which is more than enough to ask for, and he got his
Hmm.
ERA under 5 for the season. And I told you that statistic.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how good he would be if he didn't have that high ERA from when he was a starter earlier in the year.
Yeah. He won. I think he is the right guy for the bullpen because you don't want him to struggle again as a starter because
Oh no, and he's got that powerful stuff with the cutter, the sinker, slider,
yeah,
and that split he throws. He's going to be great come the playoffs when they need him the most. Because I think
yeah,
that's going to be their biggest thing is with everything that's gone on. And I know we'll talk about the elephant in the room in the moment because I think ever since they made that trade on I think August 3rd was the trade deadline,
yes,
the Dodgers have lost 3 more games since they acquired. Yes, the
Google.
Dodgers got Tarek Skubal, but since then they've not won a game. So
Well, even beforehand.
yeah, they had lost 3 straight beforehand, and they lost 3 more. So I think that's the baseball gods just evening it out for everyone else.
Maybe it's all
Not
about
the
the future.
only. In Go ahead, David. I'm sorry. You're freezing
It's
up a
all
little.
it's all about the future. Anything can change.
Well, the baseball gods, and I'll say this way: the baseball gods are alive and well in Boston
Hmm.
because they got themselves a new catcher.
Oh yes,
Adley Rutschman is now a Boston Red Sox. At the beginning of the season, you would not have heard anybody say that or be able to fathom that.
Yeah, they got rid of all of the prospects that High Bloom basically got back then that are currently in the minor leagues and decided to go for Rushman.
At this point, he was worth
Another,
every penny, though.
well, I want to say Penny because it's a trade deadline, but um, and also Carlos Narvaez, no, 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 Narvaez got traded to
Yeah,
Baltimore.
Carlos Narvaez was not a good part of that team, though. He was dragging them
He wa-
down a little bit.
he was last year a good player, but he was never the same this year. I think he got into trouble at spring train, at the beginning of this season because Alex Cora benched him. But that's all I know about it. I don't know if it
Well,
was late. I don't know if he was late to the game, and he's just never been. I don't know if that was him specifically or whoever else that was late to the games at the beginning of the year, but that was under Alex Cora, and Carlos Navarez was just never the same play ever since that incident.
I don't think he was ever meant to be the same player, though.
Yeah, especially with him getting benched at the beginning of the year, which I think I might know why because of what was going on. But he's still a good guy. I met him earlier this past month. I got a picture with him, but I wish him nothing but the best in Baltimore, and I hope he brings that leadership that he once had um, back to Baltimore. And with the Red Sox, man, like they brought our summer back in Boston. I can officially say that now because kids are going back to school this week. But they brought our summer back because, man, June 25th, we all thought, okay, see you in 2028, right? But
So, just to
we're
be
still
accurate
kicking
with
it.
you, David, they have gone 30-5 since the 25th of June. They are now 60. Make that 31-5 with tonight's win. They were
Yes,
32-46, 14 games under 500, may I add. Nowhere
14.
near the division. They were in last place. Now it's Baltimore, Toronto, Boston, New York by half a game, and now the Rays.
Yes.
31-5 in 36 games is absolutely ridiculous. You don't
hmm
see teams go on that type of tear, let alone get into where they are. To be
I mean,
half a game back of the Yankees, and here's something else that you were I were discussing since then. The Red Sox not being able to play at home with tonight's win, that places them one game under 500 at home. 28
oh,
and
wow.
20. After everything about them being road warriors the entire season. They are
Yes.
one game under 500 at home, and they are 35-22 on the road. The only team that has a better record away from home in their division right now is the Yankees at 37
Yeah.
and 26. But here's the problem with New York. They've gone 5-5 in their last 10, and I don't believe, if I look at this, that if I look at the Yankees record since that same time frame, that it could be worse. So the Yankees have gone 14-18 in the same span, and they didn't play today. So that's only 32 games they played. But if you think about
Right.
how far back the Red Sox were, the Yankees have fallen, and I mean in a free fall since then. That's why
Was Aaron Judge playing on June 25th?
June 25th, let me see.
I want to see like when Aaron Judge got hurt because I
So
don't remember.
let me see.
And
Uh,
the only thing that reminds me of a comeback like this was the 2019 Nationals, but we're not that far yet. We'll see.
not quite there. So, you want to know what's funny about that date, David?
What?
June 25th of 2026, the Yankees lost to the Red Sox that day.
Yes, I know that.
That was a 6-3 ball game. Schlitter lost. Early, who ended up getting traded. Connolly Early, who ended up getting traded, won that game, and Chapman got his 15th save. So if I look at the box score, Aaron Judge was not in the lineup for that game.
When did he get hurt?
I have no idea, but it's been a long time since Judge has been on the IL. So that's why I don't know if I say it's to that circumstance, but that's why they had to acquire Heliot Ramos, because Judge is on the 60-day IL. He has not played
Yeah.
a game in almost in 2 months. His last game was May 31st. His stats are as follows. He was named an All-Star, but he did not play in the All-Star game. These are his stats. 248, 375, 533, a 907 OPS with 17 home runs and 38 RBIs. He's not stepped foot on a field since then. This is the same guy that everyone was talking about would hit his 400th home run this season. He's got only 1,200 hits in his career. A third of them have been home runs. That's how much it affects him. Because he's had 450 home run seasons. But in the seasons he's not been healthy, he's hit 37 home runs, 39 home runs, 27 home runs, 27 home runs, and now 17 this year. So that just shows how much they're missing Judge right now, even with a guy like Ben Rice, who has really caught up with them for the most part. He's got 31 home runs, and he's really picked up since that time. He's got the same amount of WAR as Judge does, if not a bit more. 106 hits, 260 average, and an OPS of 960. However, the biggest problem has been the Yankees and the rotation since then, because if you think about it, the Yankees did not make many moves at the deadline that I know of besides the Heliot Ramos trade and Luis Garcia Jr., because they needed to work on their platooning when it came to the first base and outfield positions, because they needed a right-handed hitter who could hit left-handers, and that was what Heliot Ramos was doing with the Yankees. So not with the Yankees, but with the Giants beforehand. And that's the biggest thing, is if you don't have a lefty bat that can play the game, as well as Ben Rice has been, then you pretty much have no lineup, because the Yankees, they're 64-51. They're 98.5% chance of making the playoffs, is the second highest in the division, behind only Boston and Tampa. They lost Cody Bellinger to injury, so their outfield is like this: no Judge, no Bellinger, and they've had Heliot Ramos and George Lombard Jr., their top prospect, come up. Garcia's hitting 273 in just 3 games played, but you have to have that guy who's supposed to be really, really good for you. And Spencer Jones was supposed to be that guy. 25 years old. In 42 games, he only had 23 hits, 9 of which were for extra bases. But he had 45 strikeouts and 108 at-bats. So that's your biggest problem, is their offense without guys like Bellinger, who was hitting 259. Guys like Judge, who only played 59 games. Trent Grisham's hitting 211. Ryan McMahon, who they acquired from the Rockies a couple seasons ago, 212. Jazz Chisholm, 217. Paul Goldschmidt, 247. Their catcher, Austin Wells, is hitting under the Mendoza line. The Yankees are lucky to be where they're at, especially with Cam Schlitter being their best pitcher and the rest of their rotation being average, if that. Yes, their ERA pluses are above league average, but Garrett Cole 5-5 in 13 starts. Max Fried 4-3 in 13 starts. Not full season sample sizes. Will Warren is disappointed, going 8-6 with a 4.18. That's just the Yankees for you, though. So, besides the Yankees, there is other teams fighting for wild card and other berths right now that made moves at the deadline that were looking to get better. Houston being one of them. Houston leads the division now over the under 500 Rangers at 59-57. They're just under 60% to get their way in the now very vacant AL West division. So for the most part, you've got a team that's playing tomorrow with the Padres, who are looking for their wild card dreams to stay alive, with Ronel Blanco and the guy they just acquired at the deadline, Robbie Ray, to try and get them to the playoffs. With what the problem is currently with the Astros was they needed defensive help in their outfield desperately, with guys like Bryce Matthews hitting a $197, Jake Myers hitting 206 now in AAA, Loperfido hitting 216 also in AAA. But they had to have Jeremy Pena come back and play shortstop because Correa got hurt. He only played 32 games, worth 1.2 WAR, hit 279. Perfectly fine. But when you have to have a guy like Jeremy Pena come back from injury, and he's matching Jose Altuve's stats almost line for line, minus the walks to strikeouts, he's the better hitter, hitting 311 with a 369 average and 83 hits. So they need to get that figured out, especially when their catcher is hitting only 218 and their other catcher is hitting 260. Their biggest thing right now has been their pitching. With Burrows injured and his record showing they'd rather be injured, they needed a guy to come and step up, and Rhino Blanco has been injured a majority of the season. So that's another reason why they needed somebody who could actually hold on and eat innings so they can get to guys like Josh Hader and Steven Okert, who are both good, decent players. Hunter Brown is 3-1 right now. Tatsuya Imai, who they paid all that money for, has an ERA of 5.55 in 16 starts. He's very fortunate for what he is. Aaron Getty got traded to the Blue Jays. So, for Houston, they need guys like Christian Javier to step up, but his ERA is 6.59. So if the Astros can hang on with their shoestring budget pitching right now, they may just be okay. As for the other team they're chasing, the Texas Rangers, they've also been struggling as well. Texas is 57-58. I don't believe they played this evening. They play tomorrow against the Orioles, who have traded away a couple of their better players. So, for Texas, they have no Kyle Higashioka, who's now gone in the injured list. They are without Danny Jensen, so they're now on their third-string catcher and adding Austin Wens off waivers. So Elias Diaz is their leading catcher right now, hitting 243. He's in there specifically for defense, even though he was a all-star a couple years ago. But the biggest problem with Texas is they don't have guys who are putting bat on ball. When your best hitter is Brandon Nimmo, who they traded Marcus Semien to the Mets for, and they've got a guy like Evan Carter, who was a World Series hero in 2023. We're 3 years after that now. He's hitting a $199 with 8 home runs. He's just not producing. And another thing is, they have to fill a hole at third base now, and yet they traded Josh Smith. So the Rangers have somehow, some way been shooting themselves in the foot more frequently than a sharpshooter who forgot his gun was pointed down. Corey Seager, they tried getting rid of him. 10 home runs, 41 hits on the season, 201 average. Not a great contract. Nicky Lopez, highest average on the team in 58 games. Most valuable player right now is Brandon Nimmo. Something has got to change with that lineup. Pitching, they had to send down Mackenzie Gore to the minors. 6-9, ERA of 4.55. But when they have guys like DeGrom and Evaldi still keeping strong, and then Kumar Rocker somehow, some way making things work, then they have Cal Quantrill filling in here and there. They will make something out of this. Their bullpen is halfway decent, but with the loss of Jacob Junis to the IL, they will be losing ground sooner than later. That's why it's so important that they try and get closer in the wild card behind who they're behind right now. Especially with Jacob Latz. There you are. I just kept vamping. I started talking about the AL West.
And I was looking at the press conference, and the Red Sox are 31-5 record in the last 36 games, best span in franchise history.
Yeah, can't get much better than that. But I was just going over teams and the playoffs and everything and who's trying to get where. There's a lot of playoffs. They have massively, and I mean massively, disappointed after nearly making it to the ALCS last year. When they have a team that makes it that far and doesn't win a pennant, that is the big problem. And speaking of big things, Cal Raleigh.
Oh, he sucks.
He has fallen off an absolute cliff. Their catching has not done well at all, except for one guy that played for the A's 2 seasons ago in 2024 when they were not that great, but they were better than they could have been. But Cal Raleigh is so bad, he's not. I don't even think he starts most games. He's got 12 home runs, so a fourth of his hits are home runs. Almost half of his hits went for extra bases. He's hitting 162.
Huh. Funny.
His OPS is a 66. He's 34% worse than the rest of the league. Josh Naylor, playing first base, has 22 stolen bases for the big guy, which leads the team, by the way. They have Victor Robles, and he leads the team in stolen bases. Behind only Randy Arozarena has almost as many steals as he does. And he's their most valuable player. He's got the most walks. He's also struck out the second most times, but he's got a 284 average. He's got the most hits on a team that cannot afford him. Even Julio Rodriguez, who's played in 104 games, he's hitting only 258, which is somehow managing to be the third highest average on a team like this. And then they got Brendan Donovan in a trade not too long ago with the Cardinals, so they've got guys. It's just that a guy like Colton Emerson, who's coming up for his first cup of coffee in the majors, 72 strikeouts and 201 at-bats.
Oof.
Not great. And another thing, once you get to their pitching, because they just got Taylor Ward in 2 games he's played, he's gone 1 for 6 with 2 strikeouts in 2 games. So,
my gosh.
To their pitching, George Kirby, who was this big guy for them, has 136 hits allowed. He leads the league in hits allowed, while in 127 innings. He's allowed 9.6 per 9. Logan Gilbert, 8.6, 3.46 ERA, leads the team in strikeouts. Emerson Hancock, second best pitcher on the team, 2.3 WAR, 6-6, 3.33 ERA. Luis Castillo has not made a start yet for this team. I don't think that's going to fix their problem, though.
Yeah,
because they did get rid of Sir Anthony Dominguez has pitched a third of an inning for this team, may I add. He gave up in a third of an inning 4 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, and 2 homers. So he basically blew the game on his own. Their best reliever, Matt Brash, is on the IL. His ERA through 20 games and 16 2/3. He's not allowed a home run in that time span. His ERA is 0.54.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on the injured list. So they're going through everybody they can. Their best reliever right now is not their closer. It's Gabe Spire, who's supposed to be a left-handed specialist only. He's got a 2.10 ERA and 2 wins and 2 losses. He's got a 1 wins above replacement. And I must highlight Bryce Miller, 4-5, 2.80, but that's because he gets 0 run support. He's the third most valuable pitcher on this staff. Now, what Seattle needs to do is they need to start getting on base more often instead of swinging for the fences, because that's what has kept them in these divisions. Now, for the White Sox, because we're getting to the playoff push here. Because I'm not going to talk about the NL Central or anything, but the White Sox did just get swept. They're 59-55, but they did have Luis Castillo start tonight against Ranger Suarez.
Yeah.
So Castillo did not do bad.
I also want to mention, before I forget, this season with the Boston Red Sox, Chad Tracy so far is, as interim manager, 53-34. Hello? Oh, it's Tyson. Well, the timing, I guess, that I mentioned that, but we're just gonna have to wait for his camera to move.
There we go.
I can mention.
But I was
53 and 34. Chad Tracy is as interim manager with the Boston Red Sox.
19 games over 500, may I add. 19. And at one point, the Red Sox were 14 under.
Yeah.
It was not Cora. It was not Veritek. It was Breslow. And somehow, someway, he has come through the other end of that enema looking clean on the other side. He's still, to me, he's not done anything to change anything. Boston went and acquired Adley Rutschman, yes. But that doesn't mean it makes Breslow any better of a GM than he was before.
No, you have to see what he does in the field.
The players on the field have been showing that he doesn't know what he's doing. Yes, he can go get a guy like Rutschman, who hasn't played a game yet, may I add.
This season at all?
Yeah. He's still injured, but he's been out about 3 weeks now, but he'll be back. He's not missing the rest of the season. But still, imagine if they had traded Narvaez away sooner. I think they would have been a lot better. But still, that's just that. So, for the White Sox, Benintendi's been about league average. He's barely better than the league, but their catching situation has improved just the slightest bit. Edgar Quero is still the worst hitting catcher in baseball with an OPS of 40.
Yeah.
That's his OPS plus. He's 60% worse than the league. Their most valuable player is actually Miguel Vargas, who got traded from the Dodgers to the White Sox. He's got a 3.2 WAR, 24 home runs, 67 RBIs. He's got 62 walks to pace the White Sox. I give him a lot of credit. He made the best out of a bad situation years ago. Tristan Peters has been good in a limited role. He's played 109 games, the third most on the White Sox. So they're kind of holding on with what they got, but they got guys like Reese McGuire, who's played briefly for them.
Mm.
Austin Hayes, former Oriole. Jared Kelnick, who's bounced around more times than a Super Bowl. And Randall Gritchick,
Super
who
Bowl.
somehow, some way managed at 34 years old to be a productive guy off the bench and in the outfield. But when it comes
Yeah.
to their pitching, that's their biggest problem is now they have no closer. So that was the thing.
Every team needs a closer. Like
Well,
that's
they've had so many guys they've had multiple players get at least one save this season. They traded away Sir Anthony Dominguez to Seattle. Sean Newcomb has 3 saves. Grant Taylor has 5 saves. Ryan Hudson has 4 saves. And the aforementioned Jordan Hicks, ex-Red Sox, has 1 save. And Chris Murphy even has a save this season.
I don't care.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't care how good or bad the closer is. Actually, it has to be good or decent. But every team needs a closer. Back in 2022 and 2021, the Red Sox didn't have a closer, and I know. Well, 2021 it was technically Matt Barnes, but still, like 2022, there was a reason why that we needed a closer. That there was Kenny Jensen 2023 and 2024, and then Chapman ever since 2025, and we've been successful better because of Chapman being our closer, because we need a closer because it's less stressful for the manager.
Well, the biggest thing is you need a guy who can slam the door for
Exactly.
that team. You have to
Any
have a
team.
guy like that. Any team has to have a closer, but that's the biggest weakness for the White Sox right now is now they've gotten rid of Sir Anthony Dominguez. They need one guy to step up, and I think it's going to be Grant Taylor eventually
Okay.
for them because their pitching staff has to get better in the starting department still. They've got Sean Burke, Davis Martin, Anthony Kay, who has to learn how to control his pitches better because he leads the league in hit batsmen with 20, and that's a bit too many in my opinion, but that's what the White Sox need to improve on. Now,
They still got a closer.
yes, now we move on to Cleveland, who went on that crazy roller coaster ride last year and somehow held off Detroit. They played against the Mets today, earlier this morning, early afternoon, if you are in California. Not in California. So Arizona is currently losing to San Diego. The Orioles lost, and the Mets won over Cleveland 13-6. So in that game specifically, we'll talk about what went wrong for the Guardians and what intertwines with their season. Because their best pitcher, who's 12-3, lost because he gave up 7 earned runs or 6 earned runs through however many. He only pitched 4 innings, but he gave up 5 earned, walked 2, gave up 2 home runs, and 4 innings pitched with 7 hits allowed. So when you have a team like the Mets who have been scuffling as bad as they have, you let them go and have their way with your pitchers, you're going to have problems. And that was the biggest thing was...
The Mets got Peralta in the offseason, and they thought they saved their offseason because of that, and look what happened. I knew that was not going to work out.
Well, here's a headline here's a stat line you won't believe. Kodai Senga had a perfect inning with 2 strikeouts. That is something...
Immaculate.
No, he didn't get 3 strikeouts. He had 2. But the biggest problem is their production in the lineup is a problematic thing when they have a guy like Joe Adell having to come in and pinch hit for Travis Bazzana, who was supposed to be this big prospect. And Joe Adell was a failed prospect at that because the difference in OPS is 49 points between the two of them. And when Jose Ramirez is being pinch hit for by a Reese Hoskins, who's hitting a buck 76, you're not going to win many games. They're
I forgot he's
57
still
and
playing.
59. They're in third place. And with that, time to go over their team as a whole. Reese Hoskins is their DH. Somehow he's still on this team. He's hitting a buck 76. He is garbage. Kyle Manzardo, who was supposed to be their first baseman, has not been good at all. He is off the 40-man roster. 13 home runs. Great. Unfortunately, he's got 114 strikeouts and 312 at-bats. And somehow, imagine this. Austin Hedges has no business being a positive WAR guy like he is right now. He's worth 0.9 WAR. He hasn't had a positive WAR season since his age 25 season. He's 33 years old. He's worth negative WAR. He's got his most RBIs since 2022 with Cleveland after spending time with Texas and Pittsburgh. So he has a World Series ring, believe it or not, as a backup catcher. So there's that. But somehow this guy has got a 272 average. He has not hit above 231 in his career, ever. He's not struck out in a full season less than 40 times. He's got 30 strikeouts and 151 at bats. He's 41 for 151, 7 doubles, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs, and 14 walks. So if that's your man, I don't know what's going on.
I honestly forgot that Reese Hoskins is still playing. Same thing with Tommy Pham and the Phillies AAA.
There's a reason he's down there, David. There's a definite reason he's down there because he fights every team. He fights with every teammate he's ever had.
Yeah.
And
when I saw him in the lineup, I'm just like, wait, this guy's still playing?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just how it works, David. That's just how it works. So now I'm going to look over with you the Guardians pitching rotation. It's a tale of two rotations. I'll leave it at that for you. So, for the Guardians, Gavin Williams is 11-6. He's their ace. Their number 2 starter has 11 losses.
Oof.
He's 4-11 with an ERA under 4. He's got 138 innings pitched. He's 7% better than league average somehow. And then Parker Messick, who's their best pitcher overall somehow, is 8-6, 2.57 ERA. He was an all-star this year. 4.1 WAR. Gavin Williams leads the league in strikeouts. He's 11-6. He didn't even get invited to the All-Star game. Cade Smith, their closer, fantastic. 49 games, 30 saves, 3-1, 2.41 ERA, 73 strikeouts, and 52 1/3. He's only given up 4 home runs in that 52 1/3 innings pitched. Their best pitcher back in that bullpen is a guy named Colin Holderman. 30 years old, 1.8 WAR, 6-2, minuscule ERA of 1.65. He gave up a home run. He gives up a home run once the entire season. 43 2/3 innings he's pitched, and he's given up exactly 1 home run. 42 strikeouts in the same amount of time. What they need to do is they need their pitching staff to work harder than it ever has before, because clearly with Foster Griffin, who I don't even think was theirs at one point, no, he wasn't. Because you know where they got him from? Guess where they got him from? Washington. They traded for him. They traded for him, I believe, at the deadline. I didn't even realize that move.
Jeez.
Yeah, August 3rd, he was traded for 3 prospects and a reliever. He's only supposed to make $5.5 million, but he was a first-round pick by the Royals 12 years ago. He was drafted on the day I graduated from high school, to be exact. He was traded. Yeah. He was traded by the Royals in 2022 for a guy named Jonathan Bernal, who is now 24 and has done almost nothing He's a Mexican pitcher, 24 years old, 6'1", 194 pounds. He's made it up to the AAA level in 13 games, one start, 1-1, 7.2 ERA. So think about it that way. This guy was 12-3 with the Nationals. He was that good for a team that was going nowhere, and he was an
Yeah.
all-star. So that's just something to think about. His first start was rough, but he's played against the Mets enough to know you can't take them lightly. But
Oh yeah.
other than that,
I wanted to ask you this: who do you think won and lost the trade deadline?
I'd say the Dodgers. The Dodgers did not win; they lost by trading for Tarek Skubal. And Chris Bubik was another one that they traded for. They traded for pitching when in reality they didn't need it. They did not need pitching. That's their biggest problem is they go after pitching that they claim they need, that they claim Brandon Gomes is going to claim that they needed. They have a
Yeah.
99.9% chance of making the playoffs and a 12.8% chance of winning the race.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. But still, in that time since the All-Star break, they won on July 17th, they won on the 19th, they lost two in a deadline. They've gone 0-3, including that sweep now. They've got Sasaki, Yamamoto, and Robleski pitching against Arizona. They go back home to face KC the week after. But here's their biggest thing. They have no catcher. They have gone through 5 different catchers this season. Dalton Rushing is injured. Will Smith is injured.
Was he the guy that caused drama with the Tony?
Yes.
Okay.
Chucky Robinson DFA'd. Played 8 games for them. Eliezer Alfonso Jr. played 12 games, is in the minors now. 6 actually. Hunter Fiducia, 2 games so far, played for the Dodgers. And Ben Rotvet is number 6. They've gone through 6 different catchers this season. If anything, you know who should have traded for Rutschman? The Dodgers.
Oh yeah.
This would have solved their problem. Because they have no guy who can call a game right now. Yes, Otani's got 954 OPS and he's leading the league. Andy Pages was an all-star. Max Muncy was an all-star. They don't have a second baseman consistently either. A guy named Alex Freeland has been playing at second base. They sent him down. Hai-Sung Kim was playing shortstop. They sent him down. Tommy Edman has only played 39 games. Evidently, he's been playing second base, along with Miguel Rojas. They combined for a 1.9 WAR, which is fine and good, but when your starting shortstop is hitting 233, and you know who that is, don't you? Mookie Betts. 1.64, but he's got a 233 on average, 288 on base. His slugging is 397. He's got a 685 OPS right now. He has fallen off a cliff. And albeit they think they're okay with it, who cares? They have to fix stuff amongst themselves because they can't keep having this where they just throw guys out there and expect it to stick. Yes, their pitching staff is good, but here's the problem. The bullpen will blow leads. Yes, they're missing players, but they'll use that as an excuse, and I will not let them use it.
Mookie Betts is 33 years old with 13 home runs.
That's no excuse he's still good enough. Last
Yeah,
year's
he is.
World Series hero, Will Klein, 3-4, 3.67 ERA in 36 games. They've got two good relievers. Tanner Scott is their closer, 16 saves in 48 appearances, 2.38 ERA, fine and good. You got a guy with Jack Dreyer with a 2.93. You've got Alex Vesia with a 3.03, and Engardo Henriquez with a 3.20. But when you've got guys like Edwin Diaz, who's pitched exactly 10 games this season, he had 5 saves. He got pulled out of the closer's role.
Yeah.
So that just tells you something. This was coming to them for the longest time. I don't think they were meant to three-peat.
We'll see.
Blake Snell, 60-day IL. They've got
I was going to
Glasnow,
ask you about
50-day
Will
IL.
Smith.
Blake Trinan, 15-day IL. Brock Stewart, 15-day IL. Klein, who I mentioned, 15-day IL. Emmett Sheehan was traded. Yes, he has a 5.29 ERA, but you traded away a guy who was 26 years old and could have stayed in that rotation. They traded him to Detroit because their biggest problem right now is they need to have guys who can go 5-6 innings or more.
Yeah.
Instead, they've got Eric Lauer, who's 5-1 with a 3.72, ex-Padre, being their 5th starter. Yamamoto's 11-7. Yes, he's got a 2.76. Wroblewski, 11-3. Both were all-stars. Sasaki is 5-5 with a 4.64 in 19 starts.
Is Will Smith hurt too or no?
He's the one who was their catcher for the longest time. But if I'm the Dodgers, I don't hit the panic button. If you haven't hit the panic button yet, you probably should. Because you're supposed to be 72-43 right now with your Pythagorean record. Their run differential is a positive 140. And they're 69-46 right now. Because Dave Roberts and their franchise have gotten what I like to call, damn it, I don't remember the word. They've gotten stagnant. They think they're going to win every year now, but they're not. That's why teams like the Diamondbacks and the Padres are still in this race. The Diamondbacks have a run differential of positive 7 right now, and they lost today 5-1, so they're 61-55. So they just took a loss they couldn't to the Padres, so they lose ground. Because Walker Buehler, and that's my biggest pet peeve right now, is if you lose to Walker Buehler in a year like this, you're not going to make it very far. Because just about every player they have, sans for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Andre Del Castillo in their starting lineup, on average, has a positive wins above replacement. Corbin Carroll, 3.6. Gerardo Perdomo, 3.5. Yes, he's hitting 244, and Corbin Carroll's hitting 245. They're still getting on base at a 34 and 36% clip. And
so
they're
Will Smith
19% and 9% better. Lauren, go ahead.
So, just quickly, is Will Smith hurt or no?
60-day IL.
For Will Smith?
Yeah. So that's why they're on their 6th catcher.
What happened to him? I didn't know about this.
He got hurt months ago, and he hasn't come back yet. But that's why they've been so bad, is because Dalton Rushing is a garbage human being and a garbage catcher. But enough about the Dodgers. ESPN, we're talking to you. Gabriel Moreno.
How about the Cowboys, huh? No,
don't get Stephen A. Smith started. Have that damn Cowboys. No, that's not. Gabriel Moreno is he was the prize piece in that trade that they got him for years ago now. 22-year-old catcher. He started playing for him in 2022. They got him from Toronto. The only reason he's there right now is because they ended up getting Alejandro Kirk. So that trade, years ago now, was with Lourdes Gurriel for Dalton Varsho. That
Hmm.
Dalton Varsho has been a part of a number of important trades. So Dalton Varsho is not a big man. He's only 5'8", 207. He plays outfield and catcher, but he's provided very good defense in his time. He's hitting 200 right now for the Astros, but he's been on base 6 out of his 10 at bats. So he's got 4
Yeah.
walks and 2 hits. So he's technically 6 for 10. So he struck out 3 times. So that trade, anytime someone trades for him or trades him away, he's great. But
Yeah.
he won a Gold Glove in the AL with the Blue Jays in 2024. His power to speed ratio is fantastic. He led in D WAR in 2024. So, and his active fielding percentage in the outfield 993. So Dalton Varsho for Spencer Aaron Getty with cash straight up. That's a big one because as of yesterday, Trey Savage is on the IL due to left knee inflammation. So that's a big get
Dang.
for them. He went 7 and
Yeah.
5 for the Astros with a 4.60. I am getting off track, but I will finish up here in a few minutes. But that's why Gabriel Moreno has been so valuable for the Diamondbacks, especially when they needed a guy and they got a guy at the deadline. Lars Nootbaar,
Hmm.
great outfielder. He's been great for the Cardinals. He's now playing in left field for the Diamondbacks. Very great outfielder. Will provide a massive boost to the plate. And in the 2 games he's played, not including tonight, the Diamondbacks would lose. Yeah, 5-1. But here's the thing about Lars Nootbaar. He gets on base. He causes pitchers to throw a lot more pitches. He's just that good. He played tonight. He went 1 for 4 with a K, but he is hitting 232 with a 682 on base, and that's between the Diamondbacks and between the Cardinals. So far this season, 232 average, 337 on base, but he's doing more to help the Dodgers right now than he was doing to help the Cardinals. He's got 27 walks to 41 strikeouts and 58 hits and 168 at bats. So don't be fooled by the average in the 2s. He's doing a lot to help this offense, considering Max Kepler got popped for steroids and had to miss 80 games. But they've also got a
Oh yeah.
veteran presence in James McCann, so he's playing right now. He's their backup catcher. He's been great wherever he goes. He was great when he was with Baltimore. He's great when he was with Detroit. He's been great just about everywhere. Detroit, Chicago. Not great in New York, but he did good for the Orioles, and then he signed with Arizona. So he's good as a backup guy. You cannot have enough good veteran catchers. But here's the biggest problem with them. Injuries. And I mean just
Oh yeah.
one after another, after another, after another. It's worse than most teams. Andrew Hoffman, 60-day. Dre Jameson, 15-day. Ryan Thompson, who was one of their better guys, 15-day. Zach Gallen, who was not having a good year, 3-9, 634, 60-day IL. Ryan Nelson, their number 4 starter, 60-day IL. Mike Soroka, who's having a comeback year, 8-3, 307, is on the 15-day IL. And Brandon Pfaadt, who wasn't in the starting rotation, is back in it. He's gone 6-1 with a 3.66 and 10 starts. So they need that starting rotation, though, especially getting Merrill Kelly back from the Texas Rangers. But the problem is his ERA is north of 5. And when you got a guy like Eduardo Rodriguez, who was good with Boston, they need him to remain good because of that contract they paid him. Because I don't know how many years he has. He has 1 year left next year, and it was $20 million a season. In the time he's played with Arizona, He's gone 22-17 with an ERA of 4.09. This is his best year to date, his second most starts, his lowest ERA, and he's well on his way to having a good year, which is not a short feat, especially for them. But the biggest thing is they need to stop throwing Sewald out there. He is their closer, but he's so bad at his job. He has 24 saves, but his ERA is 6.23, and his WAR is negative 1.1. He's allowed 12 home runs in 39 innings. That's an average of almost 3 per 9. He's so just like you can't get worse than that. I'm going to go over one more team and then we'll be able to get out of here.
All right, that's fine.
The last team I want to go over is actually Philadelphia, because the Cubs are going to more than likely make the playoffs as a wild card. And Detroit, they're 4 games out. I'm not going to talk about them. Tampa Bay, they're sitting pretty right now, 4 games ahead of the Yankees. So, it's going to be this or that. So, Philadelphia, they did make some big trades. And I think they might have won tonight. I'm going to double check, because that'll affect whether or not they moved up or not. So they did win. They're 7-3. Atlanta destroyed Miami. I told you about the ball that got tipped off both Marlins outfielders' gloves on a Acuna fly ball and turned into a homer. They batted it over the wall. It's just embarrassing for them now. But
Yeah.
tomorrow, Philadelphia faces now new Toronto Blue Jay Jose Soriano.
Mm.
The big problem right now, and it's a big one, Alec Bohm. He's been a problem for a while for them. Third baseman, 110 games played, 13 home runs, 61 RBIs. Excuse me. His average is 227. His on base is 284. Slugging is 361. His OPS is set X45 with a 73 OPS plus. They have 3 guys in their starting lineup that actually have an OPS plus over 100. Justin Crawford is not one of them. That's Carl Crawford's son, by the way. He's younger than you. Brandon Marsh, 1.3 WAR, 103 OPS plus, so 3% better than the league. He struck out 111 times, though. Bryce Harper, 128 OPS plus, 24 home runs, 72 walks, 252 average, 102 hits, 2.2 WAR. Kyle Schwarber, 33 home runs, leads all of baseball. Strikeouts, 168. So, here's what people seem to not realize, and I've said this before. 3 true outcome guys are not beneficial for your lineup. Because if you heard what I was talking about between Harper and Schwarber, their on-base percentage is 1 point difference. Schwarber's batting average, 11 points. Slugging percentage, 26 points. That's the only reason he's better than Harper with OPS right now, is his slugging percentage. Because Harper, in 3 more at-bats, has struck out 65 times less and has the same amount of walks and 5 more hits. He's got 21 doubles, 24 home runs. He's leading the team in RBIs. So I'd like somebody to tell me, how is Kyle Schwarber more valuable? And I don't mean with the home run ball. I mean his defense is garbage. That's why he's designated hitter. He's not better. Harper is better. And they're the same age, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Sorry, it just annoys me. It just annoys me how it's 3 true outcome players who don't belong in the lineup every day like that.
Yeah. And Schwarber is DH only. That's just who he is.
Well, it was him. They had him, Castellanos, and Yeah, they had him and Castellanos on the team at the same time, so Castellanos had to play right field. But
Yeah.
they acquired Luis Ariz to play second base. Because apparently Bryson Stott is not great. But here's the thing. Stott's moving to third base. Bohm is probably getting benched. And Ariz is probably moving to second base. Last thing here. Christopher Sanchez is probably going to win the Cy Young. Aaron Nola, he's done.
Yeah.
28 home runs in 120 innings. He should have been done a long time ago. 3-9 with a 5.55 ERA. Andrew Painter, young rookie, left-hander, 1-8, 6.48 ERA. Johan Duran, 1-4. He's got 41 appearances, 1-4, 1.88 ERA, 25 saves. Their bullpen is really good, minus Alvarado, who is their worst pitcher out of the pen. But I think, honestly, for truly, Philadelphia could win the wild card and get in, and maybe, just maybe, knock off the Dodgers. You have no idea how much I want Orion Kirkring to get a redemption for last year.
Oh, yeah.
Just to beat the Dodgers in the first round. Fingers crossed. But
we'll see if they even do
that.
If they even do face each other.
I would agree. I would love for them to have it happen again, be a repeat. But that's going to do it for myself and Mr. Saint Denis over here.
Saint Denis.
Well, in French it said Saint Denis, so I'm emphasizing on the French. Okay. Sorry, you're gonna have to edit that out. But that was all from the baseball club tonight between me and David. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye bye.
Yes. Have a good night.
David, I'll see.